Pick up a bottle of Italian wine and no doubt you are going to see some mystifying terms. Denominazione, Geografica, origine, not to mention this mysterious sticker on bottles that can be different colors. I mean, what on earth does all of this mean? And what can it tell you about the wine that you are about to drink? So let's talk basics, a down and dirty version of Italian wine laws. Here at Hourglass of Wine, we want to help you understand wine a little bit better, which is today why we're going to go over the basics of demystifying some Italian wine laws. This is not comprehensive, but rather a quick overview of the larger of the terms to get you started on understanding them. Italian wine law is based upon two main aspects: geographic delineations and production specifications. This means every different appellation, here called denominations or denominazioni, are going to have rules about where the grapes are grown, how they are harvested, how they can be turned into wine, how they are aged. Some will be stricter and some will be more loosey-goosey and not as well defined, leaving more interpretation available to the producer. These disciplinare, or the codified rules, give a guidebook for the requirements to produce a certain named wine. Think Prosecco, Chianti, Barolo as some more famous ones. But they can also be lesser names as well, like Roero Arnese, Rosso Toscana, Puglia, Verdicchio di Matelica, or Langhe Nebbiolo. To certify these wines with the desired denomination, producers must send the wine off to an agency that looks at the production methods, the vineyards, and analyzes and tastes the wines. The agency will then certify that the wine meets the criteria for the selected denomination and allow the producer to call it as such. So what are some of these denominations? There are three main classes, let's say, and they form a sort of pyramid. Now, it's important to note that this isn't necessarily a quality pyramid. It is, but it's more of a restriction pyramid. The further up the pyramid we go, the more rules and regulations that will be imposed upon the wine. That means the producer will take more care with the wine as well. As well, local groups will choose how they structure the laws around the denomination. Again, this is emphasizing that this is based on the restriction of rules and geography rather than the actual winemaking quality, let's say. It's true that higher restrictions will translate to more control, more costs, and perhaps different characteristics in the wine, but just because the wine is on the second layer does not mean that it's going to be a worse wine than one on the tip top. So for our pyramid, it's going to have three main layers. IGPs, or Indicazione Geografica Protetta, on the bottom, DOC, Denominazione di Origine Controllata, in the middle, and DOCG, Denominazione di Origine Controllata e Garantita, on the top. Let's go layer by layer. IGPs, as the Geografica and their name suggests, are mainly based on geography, which grapes in which regions. There will usually be a broader selection of grapes available, some even international ones, and there will be very little winemaking rules. Examples of IGPs are Toscana IGP, Sicilia IGP, or Puglia IGPs. The next two, DOCs and DOCGs, are linked, as their similar name suggests, to a European law, the DOP, Denominazione di Origine Protetta. Technically, these are the laws that also protect foods, like Parmigiano Reggiano. For wine, we use the names DOC and DOCG. DOCGs are the tippy top of the pyramid, the best and most restrictive rules. Here, we will see geography, winemaking techniques, harvest yields, grapes, and aging all being defined and followed. DOCs are slightly less restrictive, with geography areas being slightly larger and more encompassing, and perhaps there will be less rules or more generalized rules for winemaking and aging. For both DOCs and DOCGs, they can be easily identified by these nifty little stickers on the capsule: blue for DOCs and browns for DOCGs. The winemaker will purchase them after the wines have been certified, and then they can put them on the bottles. If the wine is a DOC or a DOCG, by law, it must have the sticker on it to be legally available for sale. Famous DOCs are Langhe Nebbiolo, Barbera d'Alba, Orvieto, or even Etna. DOCGs are the big boys, like Barolo, Brunello di Montalcino, Barbaresco, and Chianti. Now, there is one last level to discuss, and that is kind of outside of the denomination pyramid, or I guess we could even consider it a base foundation level of the pyramid. But these are wines that have no denomination because they either fall outside of the regulations or the winemaker has decided to not pursue the certification. These are our Vini di Tavola, or table wines. You will often see them listed as just red wine, Vino Rosso, or white wine, Vino Bianco. When it comes from one specific variety, we might see it called Vino Varietale, or variety wine. Again, while this could be taken as a sign of quality, it could also be an artistic expression. As we saw, grape varieties will be tied to geography, and winemaking methods will be tied to the area as well. So what happens when a winemaker wants to plant Glera in Piedmont, or they want to take a traditionally red grape and vinify it as a white wine? That wine would be without a denomination because there is no existing law for it. Thank you for joining me today for this really quick overview of Italian wine law. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like below and be sure to subscribe for more wine education. I will leave you with this playlist here of a few more 5-minute guides. Cheers!